Okay, so I just want to do a quick video just to sort of show some examples of the homework tonight. Um, we were talking about solving equations, and that's where we're going in class, and specifically looking at like one-step equations, and we were starting with looking at sort of a model or a visual way to see what we're doing. Tomorrow we'll do something called balancing, but this is what we're basically saying is that if we had the pluses and the minuses, remember those stood for like a positive integer or negative integer, how could we use those to kind of to show how we solve an equation? So for instance, if I had x plus 3 equals 4, okay, so we know what the answer is going to be, but this is more about the procedure. So x is my unknown, so I'm going to put an x there. Then I have 3 positives, so I would, for instance, put 3 of these plus signs, or in the case of tonight's homework, we're just going to be drawing pluses 1, 2, and 3. I draw my equal sign, and then I have a positive 4, so I would put 4 pluses, 2, 3, and 4. Now I'm going to look at the side with the x on it, and whether that's on the left side or the right side, it doesn't matter, but I want to look at the side with the x, and I want to see what's there. And I have 3 positives, and we learned earlier that if you had 1 positive and 1 negative, that those cancel each other out. It's like 1 plus negative 1, so it equals 0. So I'm going to think of this equal sign as like a scale. And if I add something to one side of the scale, it's fine as long as I also add it to the other. So for instance, I would have 1 minus, 2 minus, and 3 minuses. So I've basically added negative 3 or subtracted 3 from the left side. If I do that to the left side, I also have to do the exact same thing to the right side. So I would add 3, negatives 1, 2, and 3. Now at this stage, I'm going to look for any pairs of a positive and a negative, and those would cancel each other out. And I circle it to show that it's been canceled out. Same thing over here, 1, 2, 3 pairs. What I have left is going to tell me what my x is going to equal. So I still have an x, and it's going to equal, I have 1 positive or 1. It's very important at this point that we stop and we think, does this make sense? If x equals 1, let's see, 1 plus 3 equals 4. Yes, it does. Okay, I'm going to do another example with subtraction. Okay, let's say I had x minus 2, and that equals negative 3. So we have a bunch of negative numbers here. And so we're going to represent those using a negative symbol. So if I have an x, that stays there. I'm subtracting 2. I can think of that just like I'm adding negative 2. It means the same thing. So I'm going to have x, and then I'm going to put it a little bit lower so we have more space. So I have my x, and I have 2 negatives. Bring down my equal sign. This is the part we have to be careful because the negative symbols will look kind of like an equals. And then I have a negative 3, so I'm going to draw 3 negative symbols on this side. Now I want to look at the side with the x on it. That's this left side right here. I'm going to not even think about the right. And what do I have to do to cancel out those negative symbols? I'm going to have to add some pluses. Okay, so I'm some positive numbers. So it's like I'm adding 2 to the left side. I've just added 2 to the left side of my scale. So now I have to do the same thing to the right side. Add 2. I'm going to look for any pairs that I have. Circle them. That means I'm canceling them out. I am left with just x on the left side, which is what I wanted, and a final answer of negative 1. Okay, so this is the format that I want you to be doing tonight's homework. Drawing the plus signs, the minus signs, and canceling things out so you just have x left. Okay, we will review this more tomorrow, but hopefully this helps you out if you were a little confused.